Okay, kids, it's Uncle Mike again. Tell us some more stories of Christmas time, Santa Claus stuff, things like that. Anyway, we are talking about myths and stuff all over the world and, throughout history, touching on all kinds of different things, right? Mostly science. Mostly science, like how is that scientifically accurate or historically accurate? And we were talking about different tellings, right? Different legends and stories from people's, long time ago. And depending on where they live in the earth, they have some different stories, right? And we got Santa Claus, and we talk some about his stories, with the reindeers, how you make the reindeers magic and stuff. I will talk more about that later, but right now we're talking about um, stories of creation, right? So everywhere, every people has some stories about creation. So we got certain peoples from you know Siberia, eastern Siberia, and then also they come across land bridge into North America. Yeah, so we are talking about these peoples and their legends, right? So for them, their legends are going to be around things that are part of their life. Much like Santa Claus, and his reindeers and the sled and really all these same stories, but some older stories. People talk about the raven, right? The great raven, or the big raven. It's a big black bird. And he's not shy, He's not a shy bird. He just come right up to wherever people are at, They're throwing scraps out, and the raven is coming up, and he's like, okay, I'll take some of that too. He's not shy of the people. A lot of other birds, kind of shy of the people. They don't come around, but not the raven. I mean, he would walk right in your hut, jump right on your dinner table, take your food if you let him, the raven. Yeah, he will do that. But anyway, he is a part of their culture and their stories, right? Great raven. More or less, he becomes like a cosmic traveler, right? Because raven is a bird, flies through the sky, so he takes on some more power in their mind, in that the great raven, he fly through the cosmos, through the stars, between the stars, the galaxies, and stuff. Fly around like that, kind of like Santa Claus on a rocket ship. Yeah, the great raven. Anyway, he is doing something, and he is transporting the whale. You know what is the whale? Big mammal that lives in the ocean. Beautiful, a lot of different kinds of whales, but he is transport the whale to its home. That's what the great raven is doing here in this story. And he see the earth, and he ask the deity, what is deity, right? Deity is like a god, right? It's like powerful being, and different cultures have different levels, and some of them gonna have one at the top, go all powerful, Allah. It's called monotheism. It is a certain type of belief where at the top of everything there is one who has all the power. Easy belief system. But anyway, we all recognize that there are more powerful things than us. Everywhere we go, It's just the way it is. So anyway, we are starting to recognize the world around us and its peoples way back then, and making up some stories to help explain to our kids. So, we got the raven, powerful, and he represent to us maybe our ancestors, grandfather and things like that. But the raven, he is bold, he's not shy. But anyway, basically he petitioned one of the deity, he petitioned, what his name is, it's like, Vahainin, yeah. Vahainin, yeah. Something like that, right? I don't understand too well, but, petition that deity, and basically that word means, in that language of those people, that word means existence, like to exist. And so that deity said, okay, and spit on the earth, spit on it, like saliva, spit of saliva on the earth. And the saliva, it grow into warts. What is wart? Warts are a fungus, and it can only live inside the skin, under the skin of some other organism. That is what a wart is. Usually we don't like the warts. We go to the doctor, give some medicine, pharmacia, help me with this, help me kill it, take it away from me. But this is what it is. It is a fungus. And so, Great Raven, he is excited by what he sees in this. And so he commanded to live on the earth forever, so that his children can learn from it, or that it is a part of, or it become his children, right? Think about science, like modern science. We are understanding the DNA and, the genetics and the blueprints for life. And when we are making science analysis, conducting research, and, we getting a lot of people involved, say we want to take a sample, to add to our database so we can help understand. How do they take a sample? They take a mouth swab, They swab the mouth, get some saliva. And then they can, look in real close and see the DNA. There is that same story, thousands of years old. Spit on the earth, that's where the genetic material come from. Right? But, see, this is an important thing, because what this does is, this puts creator of the earth, which is the raven, right? The great raven, he create the earth in the sense that he put a lot of energy and work into building it, The great raven, he chipping out the earth from the rocks. Chipping out the earth from the rocks. That's how he built the earth. But he was not responsible for the blueprint of life, the genetic material. It come from someone else. So we have understanding of the difference between creator of earth, creator of earth, and origin of human DNA. It's different. It comes from different places, So, simple stories from long time ago unlock all the mysteries if we listen to them. And we have a hard time because we're like, no, so many old civilizations, they are savages. And they have backwards practices, and they are so screwed up that there cannot be any knowledge there. Sometimes you meet somebody, you're like, yeah, I'm not going to learn anything from this guy. Well, you should just open your ears. You're probably going to hear something, and you learn something, just going to happen. No matter what you think you know everything, look around. So, it's a good lesson for life and things like that. But there it is. I tell you some other myths, other cultures, the Great Raven. And we know, the Great Raven, kind of like Santa Claus, he bring gifts from above. Yeah, but the Great Raven, he is a little different, you know. He is also kind of mischievous guy. Like, he's a trickster, you know. He likes to play jokes and fool around a little bit, and sometimes we shake our fist at the Great Raven. Sometimes we give him a name, we don't even mention that name, you know, because we understand about fear, right? Kutaka. Who's that? Kutaka. 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 To some people, that is like, you don't say that name, you know. You must perform some ceremony now to cleanse yourself because you have spoken the name, you know. Scary, you know, myths and stuff from around the world. And, you know, so none of this is not to offend anyone. But hopefully we get some people's attention and get people interested in what's going on around here. You know, and who. Right? Who? You know, we kids all the time. Why? Why? Yeah, we got that too. We explain some whys. You know, have been doing that for a long time. We figure out why, or why not. Sometimes it's time to find out who. Right? Right, so anyway, different myths and legends. And we talked earlier about the mushrooms, right? The mushrooms and their magic powers. They change portions of our life that we don't understand. You know, we feed them to the reindeer, and they are capable of things we did not think a reindeer could do that. You know, but there it is. We're watching it. It's a magic mushroom. You know, so this is life for the people. And we get the shaman and help with administering the medicine, so we know, you know, appropriate amounts and which one to take for which thing. Help us with life, you know, help us smile, you know, and enjoy some things if we are having some issues, you know. So the shaman was really, you know, therefore, you know, that was his commitment. Like he said, okay, I see where I am useful and I'm willing to do it. But, you know, so we were talking about, we get some very powerful mushrooms, you know, powerful different chemicals. And need a way to slice it so thin, you know, because, you know, I mean, like transparent thin, so thin you can see through it. Because that's all you need. That is all that is necessary to treat the symptom. And how we accomplish that? Well, if your blade is a rock, you know, it's just a rock, somebody chip on the rock, make the edge sharp, you know, we get arrowheads and that type of thing, Stone Age tools. A little bit trickier to get the minute, accurate cut, right? So we get the craft. The craft, you know. What is the craft? The craft basically is like, no, I will not accept it. I will not accept the world as it is. I do not accept that this is it, can do nothing. No, I will find something. And they do, you know. First thing you're probably finding, you know, is in the earth. Digging it, you know, it's in the earth. Some rocks, some look different than others. What happens when we put them in the fire, you know? It's put them to fire. Why not? Well, some things are melting, like turn to liquid from rock. You get hot enough, And we are learning metals, metallurgy happens all over the world. People are learning to form tools out of metal, heavy metals. And we learn how to mine them, how to get them out of different rocks, how to combine them to make stronger material. I mean, it's part of our life every day. We don't even worry about it, think about it, metal. But not too long ago, this was uncharted territory, like discovering new things. The craft must have inspiration for the craft, right? Must have reason to develop something. Reason, it's very simple. Better Julian, to make it better, to make better. I can make it better. What? A better what? Back then it's a better measurement. That's what they're trying to do, is make a more precise measurement. How thinly can you slice it, right? And it becomes a standard among societies. How finely can you divide the meal, because like you got to think of it, okay, it's a mushroom, we call it a meal, you got to share it with how many heads, how many people need some of this medicine, right? Well, and how much does each one need? Must perfect the art of measurement, measuring, right? In order for these to perfect measurement, well, we have to have accurate form of division, accurate way to divide things, so you have a mass you want to separate into two. Well, cut it in half, right? What is half? Two equal portions, completely equal, exactly the same. You want to cut the mass in half, two exact equals. What do you mean by exact? Like down to what tolerance, down to what level? Because basically you come back to the point of how fine can you make your blade? That's the issue every time. We want to divide something perfectly in two, perfectly equal portions. How fine can you make your blade becomes the issue every time. Pretty simple, right? Anyway, it's yeah, to julienne. And now, like julienne your vegetables, it means cut into strips, usually short, but strips. More importantly, uniform strips, all the same. How accurately you can make all the same dimension. That's where that is coming from, And you ask the cook or the chef, they'll tell you that it depends on my utensils, depends on my blade. Got good tools? Yeah, I can prepare excellent for you. But inadequate tools, well, you might get just mush. Human stuff. So anyway, we are understanding the craft, right? The craft. And why we take it up. as well as, all kinds of other things around Santa Claus. Always Santa Claus with his sleigh and his magic reindeers, and the jingle bells play. We talked about that. Beautiful magic. We'll talk more about it next time, okay? I promise. But right now I can see it's already I've talked too long. So, for tonight, this is the end of Uncle Mike's song. We come back tomorrow and we talk some more. Pick up with Santa Claus again in a reindeer story. Okay, good night, kids.